Yo guys, this is wild. Apparently, China is hacking text messages between iPhone and Android users. The FBI warns iPhone and Android users to stop sending texts. US officials urge citizens to use encrypted messaging and calls wherever they can. Timing is everything. Just as Apple's adoption of RCS had seemed to signal a return to text messaging versus the unstoppable growth of WhatsApp, then along comes a surprising new hurdle to stop it in its tracks. While messaging Android to Android or iPhone to iPhone is secure, messaging from one to the other is not. Now even the FBI and CISA, the US Cyber Defense Agency, are warning American citizens to use responsibly encrypted messaging and phone calls wherever they can. The backdrop is the Chinese hacking of US networks that is reportedly ongoing and likely larger in scale than previously understood. Fully encrypted comms is the best defense against this compromise, and US Americans are being urged to use that wherever possible. The newest cyber attacks attributed to Assault Typhoon, a group associated with China's Ministry of Public Security, has generated heightened concern as to the vulnerabilities within US critical communication networks. The reality is different. Without fully end-to-end encrypted messaging and calls, there has always been a potential for content to be intercepted, and that's the entire reason the likes of Apple, Google, and Meta advise its use, highlighting the fact that even they can't see the content. According to the senior FBI official, within the investigative activity, especially one this significant and this large, facts will evolve over time. The continued investigation into the PRC targeting commercial telecom infrastructure has revealed a broad and significant cyber espionage campaign. The campaign, he warned, identified that PRC affiliated cyber actors have compromised networks of multiple telecom companies to enable multiple activities, confirming that the FBI began investigating this activity late spring and early summer of this year. The FBI official warned that citizens should be using cell phones that automatically and receive timely operating system updates, responsibly managed encryption, and phishing resistant to multi-factor authentication for email, social media, and collaboration tool accounts. Wild, man. Dude, so they are hacking messages and stealing data. Dude, this is crazy. Apparently they're stealing metadata, which can include locations, and it can include like when the message was sent. So if you can get when the message was sent and the location the message was sent from, oh my God, even if you can't get the contents, that's some wild stuff to be able to grab at will. As reported by Politico, CISA's Jeff Green added to this, strongly urging Americans to use your encrypted communications wherever you have it. We definitely need to do that, kind of look at what this means long term and how we can secure our networks. In terms of what is known about the Assault Typhoon attacks thus far, while the FBI official warned that widespread call and text metadata was stolen, in the attack, expansive call and text content was not, but the actors compromised private communications of a limited number of officials who are primarily involved in the government or political activities. This would have contained call and text content. Dude, so they basically got whatever they want. They got everybody's metadata, and then they got government and political officials' text contents as well as metadata. Whoa, dude, that's insane. The level of military actionable information that you can grab from that. Dude, you're talking like they could start an app that uses spiders to crawl this information that is populated in a database, and then they could start plotting this on a map where real-time locations of who their interested targets are and what they're saying could be all accessible. Dude, this is horrifying. I mean, this is code red level cyber attack, dude. This is insane. The scale of the hacking campaign and the implications for U.S. critical infrastructure and the security of its networks has created an unsurprising political storm. Yeah, of course. As reported by Reuters, U.S. government agencies held a classified briefing for all senators on Wednesday on China's alleged efforts known as Salt Typhoon to burrow deep into U.S. American telecom communications companies and steal data about U.S. phone calls. Following the briefing, the U.S. senators vowed action. Oh my, dude, how does something this deep occur without some level of insider assistance? This is what, are we really that insecure in our infrastructure digitally? That's insane, dude. Reuters also reported that a Senate Commerce Subcommittee will hold a December 11 hearing on Salt Typhoon and how security threats pose risks to our communications networks and review best practices. There is a growing concern about the size and scope of the reported Chinese hacking into U.S. telecommunications networks and questions about whether companies and the government can assure Americans over the matter. During Tuesday's original media briefing, CISA's Green reportedly suggested that Americans should use encrypted apps for all of their communications. That means stop sending text messages from iPhone to Android. Albeit, iMessage and Google Messages are fully encrypted while you stay on those platforms. Meaning, if you have an Android and you're texting somebody else with an Android, you're good to go. Or if you have an iPhone and you're texting somebody else over iMessage, you're good to go. And the reason being is essentially those are messaging apps exactly like WhatsApp, exactly like Android, but they have been fully integrated into your phone system to make it a seamless experience and also protect the interests of the phone providers and everything as we move over to this digital age. Green added that our suggestion, what we have told folks internally, is not new here. Encryption is your friend, whether it's on text messaging or if you have the capacity to use encrypted voice communication. Even if the adversary is able to intercept the data, if it is encrypted, it will make it impossible. An alert into the ongoing telco network hacks jointly issued by the Five Eyes. Okay. The lack of end-to-end encryption to protect cross-platform RCS, the successor to SMS, is a glaring omission. It was highlighted in Samsung's recent celebratory PR release on the success of RCS, which included the caveat that only Android-to-Android messaging is secure. It remains a stark irony that while Google and Apple separately advise Android to iPhone users to rely on end-to-end encryption when it comes to RCS, it's still missing. With no timeline in sight for a fix. The mobile standard setter GSMA and Google have said encryption will be coming to RCS, but there is no firm date yet. That assurance seemed a response to the backlash post Apple's update with the media pickup on the security issue. Apple, whose iPhone ecosystem includes ever more fully encryption, has not commented. That was a weirdly phrased paragraph. The ironic twist to these warnings, as PC Mag commented, this push to use end-to-end encryption is ironic since the FBI has long complained that the same technology can stymie their investigations into seized smartphones and other online accounts belonging to criminal suspects. Y'all remember that whole media issue back in California when the FBI was trying to get information off of that phone and Apple denied them? Well, now the FBI has a backdoor. All of this now, everything we hear about all this, FBI has a backdoor to Apple. So don't even think that anymore. Okay, guys? Given this, the FBI's precise wording is critical. Emphasis on responsible encryption that has been mostly overlooked in reports. Responsible in this context means providing access to user data through lawful requests, including potentially content. While this may come across as a subtlety, it is anything but. This rules out many of the largest, best-known messaging platforms, such as WhatsApp and Signal, as they cannot provide access to any content absent an endpoint device being compromised and accessing the data at one end of the end-to-end encryption. Guys, I would not trust any of these. I would not trust WhatsApp, Signal, Facebook Messenger. Dude, I don't trust any of them. Signal gives people enough data where they can actually figure out what your account is, what time is, what the number connected to the account is, and they can move from there. But I've seen, dude, I would not trust Signal. I would not trust WhatsApp, dude. You know what I would use if I were you guys? I would use SimpleX. That is my favorite one. It uses a distributed, decentralized, sharded system for storing the data across voluntary nodes. And I feel like the way that it stores the data makes it very difficult for subpoena requests or warrants to even be issued to access the data, because where and how and each server only has a little portion of the data. And at the same time, it's fully encrypted end to end. And it's really easy to use, guys, and it's really easy to set up. And it's got a lot less lag than a lot of the other secure messaging systems. So unless you're going to start your own matrix server for secure messaging, I would suggest SimpleX. SimpleX. No space. It's just the X is capitalized. It's on iOS and Android. It should be the default messaging app for everybody. Check out SimpleX, guys. Seriously. That said, my advice remains to use the fully encrypted WhatsApp over RCS for any cross-platform messaging, at least until such a time as RCS adds its own full encryption between iPhones and Androids. Once you step outside Apple or Google's walled gardens, this security protection falls away. With many good secured platforms now readily available, it's not worth taking the risk. The need for full security has never been greater in the ongoing cyber threat landscape. There are other fully encrypted platforms as well, notably Signal, the best of the bunch. In their opinion, I don't trust them, albeit with a much smaller install base. Even Facebook Messenger now fully encrypts messaging and makes the standard SMS RCS texting even more of an outlier. Signal and WhatsApp also enable fully encrypted voice and video calls cross-platform, and so they should be your default choices given this FBI and CISA warning. I recommend SimpleX, guys. Go check it out, iOS and Android. It is an awesome app. It allows you to use a randomized anonymous profile for any chat you want. You can enter group chats with a randomized anonymous profile. Definitely, guys, it's amazing. You have full access to your identity. You don't have to give any information to make an account. There's no account made. Everything's stored locally. There's no centralized server database. The information is encrypted end to end, and it travels through sharded servers while it goes between. It's sharded and travels distributed across many different nodes and servers as you are messaging each other. So I definitely suggest SimpleX, guys. That's my number one favorite messaging app. So definitely check it out. And if we can get everybody in the country on SimpleX, that would be amazing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this one, and I will see you guys on the next segment.